He kind of looks at you too. And he just kind of, you look at him, he looks at you, and then he looks at Gronkum. He's like, I was always curious, who eats more, a Goliath or a half-orc? And then he just kind of grins and then sips some wine and sits back in his chair.
I glance at Gronkum, and I reach for some food, and I just put it in my mouth, and I just start eating it while I look at him, and I nod. Want to do this?
No.
I visibly deflate and then grab another piece of food and put it in my mouth.
Chew on it.
Chew on it.
See, now, if Allie were here, Allie would have taken you up on this offer.
And she would have won.
Potentially.
No. I just go, Giants, man. I could eat a whole lot more.
Yeah, it's enough. You just keep eating and eating and eating. Alright. So, what else do you guys want to do while you're... Technically, he's still waiting on a response from the two people who are actually here. We'll tell him you a pass, because Tanya's napping. She's sleepy.
Well, Gronkum we met at the...
He does Gronkum. He met Gronkum. He teleported Gronkum and Max away. He just doesn't know Leah, Jasper, and Tanya.
And Ka.
Well,
No, he knows Ka.
We don't know that he knows Ka. Well, this is Leah. Looks towards the giant fellow and the bird individual. I don't think I've gotten your names.
Ka just kind of looks up at you, Jasper.
Oh, what was that? Oh, yeah, my name's Jasper Giantsbane. That's right. I just got lost one day. I got teleported with this bird fella, and then started cleaning toilets and shit. So, then you guys came along, and that's where I'm at now.
The bird looks over at you. My name's Jess. I clean toilets and shit.
You stop that! And I'm gonna swing my maw at him, like my big old hand, but miss him.
Shit.
Stupid birds.
Yeah, so we met these two individuals just before we arrived here. They seem to have been captives of a beholder.
Beholder? What beholder?
Mm-hmm.
The one they wouldn't let me kill.
We tried to kill it, but it didn't go so well.
He's like, well, I'm
Yeah.
glad you're all alive. Facing a beholder is no small feat. Oh, it was sick.
Well,
that's still a good feat. Still a very big accomplishment.
It was sick in the head, more like it.
It was affected by some kind of mushroom or fungus. And was surrounded by creatures also affected by these.
It's like, so let's just try to keep you on this plane for the time being until we can figure out how to deal with your other issue. It's like,
Great.
I do have a few things I would love your assistance. Well, no, technically, I would love your assistance with. But since we're all being so helpful and kind to these lovely people, I believe you still were planning on going to the orphanage? He looks over at Ferris.
Definitely, I need to check see how the children are doing.
It's like, oh, if you don't mind, we do have something we'd like you to retrieve while you're there, if you guys feel up to it.
What's that?
He looks, he's like, well, two things. First, we have not heard from Sir Astral or his party in about a week. They had gone into the city to try and retrieve General Alistair's belongings from the old guild headquarters. However, they never reported back in. Which then leads us to number two. If by any means we can find them or bring them back, let's do that. But if not, we're also going to need to recover the same package. And he kind of like holds out a map and shows you. So this is the old Shining Force Guild hall, more or less. Like after Alistair died, we buried all of his equipment here. And they note basically a stone underneath what in their chapel where the item is hidden. It's like these items are great and important to us if we're gonna turn the tide.
Are there any wards or traps on this area that we should be aware of?
It's like unfortunately the only person who would know that is Sir Astral. So if you can find him, he'd probably be your best bet. But we've been unable to contact him for a week.
Has the cult been attacking anyone going into Gangcast?
So that's the strength. And from what our intelligence shows, well, Gancaster has fallen, as you obviously we went over last time. But the people of Gancaster are there, but they're not really there. There's something affecting them. And now here's where the dilemma comes in. We've been unable to get any spies into the city and have had very little success even around the city. And we're not quite sure why. So please do be careful.
What's the situation been that's been causing problem?
Well, since they've taken the capital, there was a few issues. Apparently, I'm not sure, the cult or something. Essentially, they had, and I'm not sure on the details, but they had attacked the dragon or they'd summoned a dragon. No, they did both. They had attacked a dragon by summoning another dragon and then apparently enslaved it. Thankfully, I was able to get it out of here, and we're still working on trying to get it help. But yeah, it seems many things are afoot. As far as war, there are more armies coming to help alleviate the situation, but there are still a good 100,000 plus soldiers under the influence of the cult that are here. The king is currently still hiding in the southern kingdom. The prince is still being held captive in the capital. And the Cross family, more or less at the moment, is independent but helpful. After a brief issue with the cult due to circumstances. It's like, as far as getting you there, there's not really any teleportation circles near Gancaster as much that are left, but I have my own personal way of getting you guys at least nearby. And he kind of looks over to Nobel. He's like, Mr. Nobel will see that you make it to the city and do his best to help you. He's like, oh, like I know It's not much, and he takes out a small chest from by his side and pushes it forward on the table. He's like, hazard pay.
Welcome opens the chest.
You open the chest.
Also,
Hmm?
when you say small chest, like how small are we talking here?
About enough
Are
to
we
hold
talking
800
like
platinum.
mimic kind of?
No.
Oh,
No. Enough to hold 800 platinum, which is what it's holding.
You and I have very different definitions of small.
Good thing, huh? So you now have. Okay, put your hold up on depth. Oopsie doodle. I did that to you guys. Alright, and graphics there. Okay.
Welcome dumps it in with the rest of them.
So you now have. Gotcha. In your personal or in the party sheet?
Party. Naturally. Party.
So it's you now have a balance of 2,602 platinum, 108 gold pieces, and the obscene amount of
A
copper.
metric shit ton of copper.
And I think that isn't that the copper, the gold that the Deft took?
Yes, but don't worry, Def's also tracking it. I'll have to double check him too and see later. I don't think that number has really gone down. I think actually you set it aside. Def actually has a little separate thing for it's like party's gold, my gold.
Yeah, I'd set it aside.
Which have made a lot of gold, oddly enough. Morally trained. Okay. So we have all that. Oh, you left your dragon scale in another world too, damn it. And a tooth.
Yep.
Someday. Okay. So they kind of go through the different things. So we're trying to rally some support, figure out a plan. But this seems like a good start, and it should divulge a lot of details. It's like, if you feel up to it, of course.
We might as well check
Do you
into it.
know
I'm going to the city
what
regardless.
the object is that we'd be retrieving?
Like, I like his style. Oh, it's just his personal effects. Armor, swords.
You're sending an entire party just to retrieve his things. That's a little excessive, don't you think?
Family heirlooms.
Can I do an insight check?
Sure. That is an 8.
Yeah.
Soaring.
And a 4.
I know that's there. So I was like, wait a minute. So, if I'm not like strong, maybe I'm gonna have some other. Oh, there it is.
Y'all don't roll too high tonight.
Yeah, this is not a good start.
Where did it go?
Come all out, Helen.
Oh wow.
And hopefully they don't persist.
You get the feeling he's being very truthful.
Okay.
All of you.
And
Just in case that wasn't clear.
So, will these heirlooms be stored here, or
Oh, you didn't hear. So you see,
we've been away for a while?
I thought I explained. I apologize. So you see, apparently, and it's very similar to what's going on at the Capitol, but apparently he looks over the their prior high priest. I believe his name was Satesh. Grunkum, this immediately catches your attention. Apparently something happened between death and this individual that resulted in this individual's death. This kind of shifted a lot of the power, and after this happened, and I'm a little confused on the details from the reports that came in, because it doesn't sound like they were actually near each other at the time. It basically sounds more or less like he just dropped dead. I know, it sounds strange. However, after he died, it was discovered that the body that was used to create him was that of Commander Alistair. After he was killed, they had taken his body to Lord Grey's Keep, where it was held until Clayton, the former bodyguard of Queen, rest her soul, was able to go in with a few brave individuals and retrieve his body and damage some war supplies in the process. They were able to get him home, and we were able to successfully resurrect him. And this bodes very well for our side. So, to answer your question, Ari, they'll be going back to their owner.
Ah,
As soon as he recovers, please. He's back home with his family right now. He's like, don't forget, we all came along for the fun. That's Randy picks up. He's like, that's right, not just Mr. Nobel and me. Mr. Nebulous, Mr. Caverin, Mr. Henry, even Mr. Cross. We all came. Mm-hmm.
everyone's here?
Well, not here. They're there. Nobel looks at you.
Oh,
They're their castle.
ah,
Like, we're getting ready for some action of our own, but I heard you're in town, so I had to come. And he like grabs
glad
another
to see
beer
you
away
again.
from someone at the table and just kind of like chugs it. Like, yes, good to see you all. It's like, and he looks over at you, Theris. Where's this orphanage?
I give directions of where it's located. Well, you know where so and so is. It's 3 doors down, another street over, etc.
He kind of looks like, huh. Then he kind of like it's like a rough little map that they have, and he kind of points around and he shows like where people have successfully kind of gotten into the town. There's not many that have been successful. Apparently, there are a few like sewer entrances you could potentially get into. You are a little familiar with those too, because at one point you were investigating kind of the aqueducts and some of the water systems.
Well, I also have the urchin background, so I've got City Secrets feature.
Mm-hmm. As far as other ways other than like sewers, there may be some like low walls you might be able to get to and climb up. Yeah, you can probably find a few things. So he kind of like, okay, we could probably make that happen. Um, everyone should be careful. He kind of like looks over towards the two larger individuals. Like, let's try not to do anything hasty either, shall we?
That would be you, Gronkum.
Welcome, just grunts.
He just kind of smiles and he throws you both mugs of beer. Good boys.
And while we're retrieving these heirlooms, you'll be trying to find out why this beholder has begun these events?
Well, I don't think your beholder's involved with
No, the one you had mentioned earlier. The one with the purple star for eye? Or in
Oh.
its eye?
Take a look and investigate. It
If
certainly is
what
curious.
you claim is true, the cult may not be the enemy.
The cult is the enemy.
He's looks like I've seen this beholder recently, and this beholder has renounced, for lack of a better term, Def's mentor, which I'm pretty sure he's not happy about. So I don't know, but I can definitely look into it. Yeah. He, long story short, a group of like-minded individuals that like to protect and serve, we'll say, which Def's dear mentor apparently wished to join very badly. The highest levels of magic one can obtain from multiple worlds. So I'm pretty sure that this individual may be part of our issue, but I'm not 100% certain. Like I said, I too have been away. I just got back a few days ago. I was training and handing off our dear little blue-headed friend.
What was the bracelet Allie was wearing?
Oh, that I taught her that. It's and you watch he has one on too. It's a focus item.
What happens if it's removed?
If it's removed, nothing. It's just a focus item. It's like it allows you, and he extends out his hand with the bracelet on as you watch as he forms out into another Soren next to him, which looks like evil Soren. It's like it's useful, and the other one, it's like for many things. And then you watch as he kind of waves his hand, goes back into him.
Does quote unquote evil Soren have, or did he have a bracelet as well?
He had one on him. It looked like more or less. He formed like a little. He looks slightly different than Sword, but not by much.
Okay. So what happens if the second Soren loses their bracelet?
Then the magic ends and back he goes. It's kind of just a way of extending oneself. If one of us gets hurt, both of us gets hurt. mirrors and all.
Does he have the generic villain twirled mustache?
Roll an investigation check.
The most important role I've ever made.
I don't even know what I got to roll for this. It feels like sleight of hand. You watch as he's twirling his beard.
It's not quite a mustache.
That's all I needed to know.
Not mustache, but beard. You're halfway there. He goes, so... He's like, and he points at Ka. He's like, that one I've seen before.
You
He's
two
like,
have met?
I wouldn't say we've met so much as we've run into each other once, maybe twice. Last time I saw him, he was running around with another party of adventurers. It was shortly after I had sent you guys away for your own safety. It's a long story. We'll get into that a different day. It's like, so, please eat, rest. I can send you guys probably within 5 miles of the city. Actually, he thinks about it. I think I might be able to get you there. But we'll travel to my portals in the morning. It's like, so I'll leave you all to it. Have an excellent night. And you watch as he kind of like walks out down the hallway. So what are all you doing?
Someone's going to have to catch me up on a couple things. I tried to follow that conversation, but I didn't do very well.
We're going to do the Theris version. Randy kind of looks over at you and just explains like the whole backstory because he's like the chronicler of the story. He's basically like Samwise at the end of Lord of the Rings, and he's got everyone's story and he's just writing all the shit down because he can't do anything. He's like, and you see, that's what happened. He's like, did you ever meet Death, Thea?
I think I actually just conveniently missed him. Sounds like.
And he kind of watched as all of a sudden when you say that, he leans in and kind of strokes his beard. Just missed him, you say?
Just missed him.
He kind of like looks over at Nobel. Nobel looks back over. And where were you at the time of his disappearance?
This is feeling awful.
You'd have two dwarfs
Question.
staring at you.
I look towards the party, looking concerned.
You two can be at ease. Lord Grey is the one that abducted Deft.
Nobody else rolling an insight check. With a +3. Kind of just looks over at you. And he points at his eyes and then points at you.
I've been deaf the whole time. You got me.
No. That's not it. And they just kind of slowly eyeball.
I squint at him.
He turns into you and
in this
squints
one
back.
is Nobel a... Yes,
Same
Nobel.
thing
In
he
this
is
one
in
is
every
Nobel
world.
a
Always an arcane
Duridae?
trickster, raven. He's a Durgar. So Grey
That's what
Dwarf,
it is. Okay.
arcane trickster, raven queen, warlock. So he just turns
Goes for
into
his
you, Leah,
question.
and starts mocking you back with your own words. He's basically gone full child at the moment and is just copying everything you said.
You know, I expect this from Ka, but not from someone so in such esteemed company.
And then you hear Nobel do it, and then you hear Ka do it.
Okay.
So now all of them are repeating.
I just look so done.
And then he turns back into himself. Like, this one's no fun. And Ka's like, this one's no fun. He just kind of smiles. Don't worry, kid. He's like, are you a kid? He's like, how old are you?
Is he still talking to me?
Mhm.
I turn him into a frog.
You try to turn Nobel into a frog? Polymorph?
Yes. Oh, wait. No, we did rest. Okay, yeah, I turn him into a frog.
Oh, hold on. What is the save, number one? It's been a while since
DC
I've looked at my stuff.
17 wisdom.
Okay, hold on. Item to get everything. Okay, I got that one. I still have the crown that I stole from Black's character. That was a good day. Familiar stuff. Ooh. Oh, there it is. Hold on. I think we get advantage, but I just want to double check. You said wisdom?
Yes, 17.
Okay. So that is. Ooh. An 18?
That is a success.
As you try to polymorph him, he looks back at you. And he's going to cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter at you. Oh God, where are you? There's still so many creatures on this combat tracker. That's right, yep. This didn't tell it. It's not super high. But apparently it didn't matter. So you just... What are you still eating or drinking at the moment? No, because you cast a spell. I'd say probably not.
No, whatever.
No embarrassing milk out the nose moments.
Nope.
You just start laughing.
As I start laughing, I just hold up the finger and present it to him.
He's like, I know I'm the best. Eventually, it wears off. And you pick yourself up. All right. So Soren's already gone. He went and off somewhere else. Noble kind of looks at you. He's like,
Ara's observing the.
You're doing what?
I was just saying, Ara is observing the events transpiring.
Like, well, you should all get some rest. So, wait a minute. What are we doing with the orphans once we find them? This may need some more planning.
Making sure that they're okay.
Define what is them being okay. Because if we go in there to do
Healthy,
recon,
not being abused.
he looks at you. There's how many orphans are at your orphanage?
However many I remember last time I was there.
Roll roll 2d20s.
Oh no.
On a scale of 1 to 4,
That is
you're
not what
looking
those dice came up as.
That's a lot more.
That's a lot more than what those dice showed.
3.
There,
Where'd that 3 go?
last time you were there, there was 33 orphans. With such bright futures ahead of them.
As for that fluctuates, but if with the war that's been encroaching, that could have increased.
Mhm.
Of course, with the city falling, it could be much less now too. I don't know. That's why I've got to check.
And he kind of just looks at all of you in general. It's like, so what are you going to do if we go in there? I mean, we're not equipped to get 33 kids out of there.
Yes, I can.
It's like, what's the plan?
Well, I can gate them out.
It's like,
Cyrus, do you have any teleportation circles on this plane by chance?
Yeah, when I get the spell, I know 2 locations. Now, where they are here, I don't know.
I would say for you, I'm trying to think anywhere. You probably have one semi nearby to Gamecaster. There's probably, oddly enough, probably the closest one. There'd be.
It could possibly be to one of the other churches in another town, even.
There would be a mage's school that's kind of south of where like Gray's kingdom is. So like in the east side, southeast. And then you probably have the biggest capital city near you would be where Max comes from if you want. That would be the major southern kingdom of Arcadia.
As long as if it's secure, like it hasn't
That-
fallen also.
So that town, the only thing that's a little challenging about that town, before you pick it, they're very much into humans, maybe Asmars, but that's about it. Everyone else, if they even allow them to be there, live outside the city walls.
Unless
They're
you know of
very
another,
big city,
particular-
huge army.
ask him too, see if
But-
unless you know of another secure circle that I could memorize the runes to.
Trying to think. What do we have for them? Actually, if you want, and this would be way more accessible, to the northwest, which is further, the most western part, which does happen to just be further north, is the Elven Kingdom of Arcadia. They're the Western Kingdom. So there would probably be a portal kind of in that direction. So those two are probably like maybe a day to 3 days travel from Gancaster, depending which one you would do. The one in Gancaster or south would already be in technically the Kingdom of Gancaster. The other one would be a day or 3 away. But you would have to walk from the east side of Gancaster to essentially central Gancaster to get to the capital.
Well, if getting children out of a occupied city would be the main thing, as long as it's
Yeah.
to a safer area, it doesn't matter where.
It's like, so how many people can you get out?
As many can run through over the course of 6 to 10 seconds as I can hold it open. But I can do it as many times as need be, within reason, as long as my prayers and power hold.
Okay, well, that's a plan. And he kind of looks, he's like, well, if something goes wrong, at least I know what your plan is for that. I'm assuming your tactics haven't changed much over our time apart. He's like, you guys still winging it?
We've learned a few tricks.
You're still winging it.
Still winging it. Definitely still winging it.
All right, so we'll go ahead. I will long rest you guys unless anyone had anything else they wanted to do that evening.
Do you know
Hmm?
where we'll be staying here?
If there's some, they just kind of shows you some general chambers down the hall. You're still technically at the Golden Perch. You're not sure where in the Golden Perch you are, but There are some just general rooms.
I'm gonna
What are
switch
the-
some spells around when we rest.
What are the rooms like?
It's decently basic. I mean, the building itself is nice. There's a little bit of marble around, but yeah, they're comfortable. You are decently provided for. You don't see a lot of people though.
Are they individual?
You haven't seen
Okay.
anyone other
Are
than
they individual rooms? Or?
Yeah, there's some individual ones. There's some bigger ones. It's kind of there's plenty of options to choose from depending what you want to do. You haven't seen anyone other than the two dwarfs and Soren since you've been here, and the dragon.
Um, do these rooms have balconies or windows or anything like that? Or
Not that you've noticed in the ones you're staying in. In the main rooms you're in, there probably would be some, yes. But the rooms themselves,
Okay.
no.
So
They're
not
kind of
together.
fortified. Yeah, so you can look out and
Mm,
basically roll a perception check.
You should know better now. Oh, actually, that's not a bad roll.
So I mean, it's not really hard to see. You kind of look out, and it's kind of built around like this central mountain. So as you look out, you're kind of set up, looking out like on the plains. You get a really good view of at least half of this. It doesn't. You got a mountain behind you, but then you kind of look up, and you just see these series of massive pillars that just go straight up into the clouds. You can't even see the tops of them.
Okay. I assume these rooms are made out of stone.
No, so there's like some marble and nicer stuff, but yeah, also stone and other things. It's just kind of a mix. It's actually pretty decently furnished.
Okay. Non easily burnable material.
Correct.
Okay.
It's a place for dragons. You get the feeling after you burn down a couple of things, like you just stop making stuff. Let's not do that. All right, so I'm firing the long rest.
Mm-hmm.
Long
If
rest.
there's a bath, Hari will also have a bath.
Yeah, I'd take the island. Let me get rid of some of these creatures. We don't need perspective. We'll leave perspective. You never know when he may pop up. We don't need Cough in a moment. Kau's going to hang up here. We don't need Devilman. I'm just getting rid of some of the trash. Yeah, you guys got really lucky on that fight. There was a lot of shit there.
Yeah.
I know that's his creature. That's his pet. Oh, the wildfire spirit we don't need anymore. Poor Airbus. You're so young. Alright, so you guys go to sleep. Morning comes and you are well rested. What do you wish to do?
Stretches, brushes her hair, gets ready for the day, and then heads out into the main area.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna spend my time enjoying not being in a cave.
You're definitely not in a cave. Who's the first person up?
Likely Leah. She only requires 4 hours of rest.
Oh, ouch. Elf card fired. All right, Leah.
Yeah.
Oh, I need coffee for this one. I'll be right back. Oh, thank God for coming. Who needs sleep?
Is there any place either where we're at or close by that's not in the city that is a someplace sacred to like my order or my belief in black magic?
There would be a church, and actually, I don't even know why I didn't think of that. There's probably a circle at the Golden Perch. And because they essentially embrace all dragons, and right now dragons are more or less kind of the filling in for gods, they would have churches to the gods as well. Their intent was never to kind of replace them, but kind of to fill in for them. So you could find, for yours, the arcane, they're a set of twins. It's a
ethos
boy and a
than
girl.
deity.
Mm-hmm.
How
Yeah,
far
so
away?
they do actually have a church for that deal.
How far away?
You'd have to go and look around. You really haven't been out of this room. My dear early morning riser, though.
Well, I was going to say, because if it's close enough before we do a rest, I want to go there to cast Word of Recall to set that as my spot.
Okay.
If it's close enough to do that before we rest.
Well, as you guys go and you kind of walk and look, the door that leads out of kind of this large chamber you're in is locked. So you could pick it open. Technically, if you wanted, you guys really aren't using a whole lot of spells, so I don't really care anyways. You had plenty of spells if you need to do something. But the room you guys are in just is secured. Not that ever stopped you guys.
And it's locked? So the door's locked?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hang on.
Don't worry. Oh, that's right. Death's not here. I had to. There you go. Just enough. that guidance has saved you.
Well, since I
So
knew
you sit there,
I was going to be doing it. So.
you bring it in, and you almost feel like it's about to break. But you just take a breath. You kind of rotate slightly higher, and the door opens up. So as you open it up, this is a very, very large castle, more or less. So you see more or less what Lead saw earlier, or Ari saw earlier, sorry. So there's it's a 3-tiered castle. You are currently on the mid-tier. It's built into this, and then you do see the giant pillars that kind of go up into the sky. So you can walk around. It might take you a while to find it, though. You still don't see any people.
Yeah, well, that's good to an extent.
Roll. Do me a favor, Theris. Roll an Arcana check with advantage. So as you kind of sit looking around, there's gotta be. You just feel your hand. It just kind of pulses with warmth. And you just hear like this echoey voice in your mind. And you you proceed to follow?
Yeah.
Or no? Do you listen to the voices in your head or no?
Did it not come through? I said yes.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I didn't hear you. Yeah, so you follow it, and it just kind of continues, and it kind of pulses the closer you get, and you do find the church. Oh, sure enough, that's actually a funny thing. As you open it up, there is one individual inside.
Do I recognize them or know them?
Nope. They are kind of hunched over. They must be taller, but they are completely covered in a robe, and they are wearing a mask. And as you walk in, the head kind of just turns in your direction. Oh, you must be our visitors.
And this is the same order that I follow?
This is the same church. So the kingdom is basically it's the humans that kind of support the ruling dragons and what's left. It's not a very huge kingdom, but the kingdom itself, the castle is very large. But this church, you do share the same church, at least, or so it seems. He does seem to be worshiping here. And he just kind of turns back. Like, do you worship the twins as well?
I am a priest.
Oh, very nice. And he looks over. Oh, I need a book.
As I say that, I pull out my holy symbol.
Oh, and you watch as he produces a similar one. My name is Eskil. Eskgil. Roll an investigation check as he kind of reaches out to shake your hand. You notice he has a pair of gloves on, and his hand is kind of shaped differently.
Theris, more well met.
Like, pleasure. It's like, I am the steward of this place, or what's left.
So what all has happened? What news do you have?
Well, I don't leave. I leave the affairs of the outside world to any other more interesting people. I simply just see to the well-being and the caretaking of this place. Our great history.
I'm gonna reach in my pocket and dump 3 gold in a tithe. If there's a tithe that open or something like that.
You find like a little offering altar. So you go ahead and put it there. And he goes, is there anything I could do to be of assistance to you? And he kind of watches the body extends up taller as he kind of like starts to walk around a bit.
I just come here to pray, to clear my mind, and seek a place of sanctuary and a place to recall if need be.
He's like, please, you are more than welcome. He's like, and if you so need, and you watch as he kind of walks over and he pulls back this curtain and you watch as there is a actual teleportation circle also here. He's like, you are safe here, my friend.
Thank you. May I memorize the runes to this location?
Absolutely, take your time. I'll just be talking to the statues.
And I just bow my head to him, and I'll go in and start memorizing it. And
okay. So we'll say you get your word of recall in, you get your memorizing in. With the help of the voice in your head, you make it back without issue.
So what I need to label this circle as, like what location?
This would be just label it a Golden Perch Church of the Arcane. So then you get back for your rest, which leads us back to Leah.
Hi.
So as you walk into this main room, you see a similar looking, in fact, the same creature that Theris had met the night prior. Well, actually, this is a good question. So it's kind of a hunched over, weird looking creature. It walks strange, moves strange. It's just walking around the room. What do you do?
I stare for maybe half a second before I think of all the weird things that I've seen with these people, and I want to find like a coffee machine or whatever equivalent of a coffee machine there is here.
Do you talk to it, or do you just wait?
I have no reason to talk to it at this point.
Okay, so you just kind of walk around. Roll an investigation check to find some sort of way to make coffee.
coffee, tea, whatever.
Water
You
and
do
a pump.
find some sort of contraption that is set up. It basically more or less is a French press, but it does seem that there's some coffee set up here. And then you hear a voice from behind you. Do you need assistance making that?
That would be nice. I've never used one of these before.
And you watch as he walks over with these long, awkward legs under his robe. The hand comes out, and he's like, "Oh, once you get it down, it's not that hard at all. Allow me." And you watch, roll an investigation check. Ooh, hold on. What does it work? You kind of look, and as it reaches out, you see kind of a hand, longer fingers, longer hand. The hand has multiple scars all over it, and then it's got these long fingernails, and it kind of just like reaches out and gives you, like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and you watch as he puts his glove back on. It's my apology.
No need to apologize.
It's like, here. Leaves it to you to try.
I will attempt to use the machine.
What'd you say?
Yeah, yes.
You have some? Okay. You sip it. It's like, I've successfully poisoned you.
I pretend to start choking.
Like, just kidding. We can't afford poison. No one would give me poison. Don't worry. No worries, man.
Hope you feel better.
I get to feel
Feel
better, man.
better. I'll let you know if you break anything or people. He kind of looks at you and you watch. He's more or less set up like a little breakfast for you guys. He's like, and to eat up, you need some strength.
It's very kind of you. What was your name? I don't think I caught it by chance.
Eskel. With an E.
Eskel. Well, very nice to meet you. You can call me Leah.
Oh, very nice to meet you. At this point, other people start coming in too, and he kind of invites everyone in for breakfast. All right, so it's a fresh morning. Everyone's awake. You guys eat your breakfast. Is there anything you want to do before you depart?
If we have a little time, I would love to copy a teleportation circle from Ferris. So I have one on this plane at least.
Sure.
Whichever one you want to give me.
The only ones I have is Kalsto's and this one. Well, technically, I guess I've got two others because when
You
I
have two on the different plane, and then you have the one you just learned. Well, technically, you have the one you learned here, and then we'll say that you have the one that's south of Gray's Kingdom. That's about the closest one that you would have towards Gancaster.
You said Grayston or
Gray, that's the Lord of the Eastern Kingdom of Gancaster, so it's south of his kingdom a couple hours. It's like a magic school. But it'd probably be the most common one you would go to.
That one works. I'll copy that one, I suppose.
yeah, I'm happy to share whatever.
Okay. So you guys kind of jot it down as you're eating breakfast. And
Didn't you also have like the Karanas or something too on the other place?
She does. She had West Corona, yeah. Or it was just in the Coronas, more or less. So you guys nerd out and share circles.
As we are known to do.
All right, so you guys eat breakfast. You watch as Soren kind of walks in. It's like, well, like it looks like everybody's ready to go. It's like, I'll have out of your hair here shortly, Eskel. It's like, oh, I don't mind at all. And he just continues like picking up after you guys and offering you more food and drinks. Like, it's nice having people here again. It's been so lonely since Ali left.
Yeah.
Welcome back. I will company though. To be honest, you guys probably eat less anyways. Sorry, like, I'll bring her back eventually. It's like, well, you guys ready to go?
Let's go save some orphans.
All right, you watch as he puts his hands out in front of him and he watches, uses a combination of magic to like form this long mirror that just floats in the air in front of him. It's like, all right, let's just be on our way. And he kind of goes to touch the mirror and you just watch it break and fall. He just kind of like pauses for a second.
What's supposed to happen?
This must be an issue with the mirror. We'll use a different one. He's like, I'll just use one of the other ones. He does it again. Another mirror appears. You watch as he touches it, and then he's like, all right, and he walks through.
Can I use my Arcana to see if I know what happened with the first one?
Sure. Or you can roll
This
it.
is Soren stepping through, right?
Soren's the first person stepping through the mirror. It looks, from what you could determine, Ferris, at the actual point he was able to make this mirror, whether or not that's part of the actual magic, you're not certain. But at the attempt to make the connection, it seems that it failed. To you, this could mean the other side of the portal has something wrong with it. It could be a busted mirror, problem with the enchantment, or it could have been destroyed.
Okay, just make a mental note.
Sorry.
He's already through the portal.
An inquiry before.
Ask Shoko to step through.
He seems roll an insight check, Ari. So you're kind of all over there.
I assume.
At the moment we go to step through, I'm going to cast Pass Without Trace from the staff.
Oh yeah, that's right. You do have the staff. You just watch as Theris grabs the staff and the top gem glows and pass without a trace. Yeah, he moved far too quick to really catch on to anything. So he's through the portal. You watch Theris cast his spell, and you just watch as all of your tracks kind of like clean up after themselves. It's hard to tell you were ever here. Do you guys go through the portal?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. As you go into the portal, you find yourself... Roll perception checks, actually, everybody.
Just looking too. I've got a 19 passive, so
Didn't too bad.
I rolled less than 19. It's a 19.
So as you guys kind of look around, you're in his mirror dimension. However, you see him standing in front of you. About 2/3 of his mirrors are shattered.
Does he look surprised?
He roll an insight check, Leah. He looks very disturbed and shocked right now. Like he's kind of just taking all of this in. He kind of like immediately starts like going over the bridge. Let's see. You guys do see. Let's see who rolled the lowest. Nobody rolled well. As you guys kind of start walking, you see like this weird slime on the ground.
Slime.
Yeah, it's like this pink ooze. It's almost like the ooze from Ghostbusters 2.
Ari will attempt to follow.
All right, yeah, you watch as it kind of runs over. You see more of the same slimy ooze that kind of like moves over towards that direction. As you get over there, the mirror where he used to keep Mirror Soren, the last one you came through, is broken.
Isn't the dragon in that one?
He's not actually in the mirror. It's a portal out. He's like, someone's been here. I'm not certain how. It's like, everyone, look around, see if you can find any clues. And you watch as he's like taking stock of things that are in his home.
Hey, sorry. If we were, say, anchored to another plane, would that have any impact on it?
No, I'm not. No, that shouldn't impact that at all. It's like, I'm not sure what, and he's kind of like grabs a stick and is like taking up some of this slime. He's like, I don't even know what to make of this, and you just watch as he like starts like casting a couple of spells and looking at the slime. What are you guys doing while he does that?
I'm looking around for clues.
Investigation.
Seeing if anything's stolen.
Same.
I've only been here once, but
Feel free. Join on in.
Ari's gonna
Ooh.
try and piece together if she's ever seen a sludge like this. Just raise a question. What kind of consistency does it have?
Go ahead and roll an investigation check as you inspect the slime specifically. For the other, that's not too bad. How well do you want to inspect this slime, Ari?
Well,
Like,
she's not making any physical contact with it because she doesn't want to get, covered in slime.
Oh, I figured that much. Okay, so we got them. For you guys, you kind of look, and as you kind of go into some of the upper layers and you're looking around for clues, you see something in front of you. It's one of like Soren's stone protectors, except it is adhered to a pillar and part of the ceiling with like this giant green hardened glob. There's roll a history check. Like, look at this, and you swear something about this just rings true to you. You're like, what the fuck is it? This is very familiar to you, but not enough to remember.
What was the result of Ari's investigation?
You're kind of sitting there. It's very thick and viscousy, but as you kind of sit there and you like play with it with a stick, it kind of stinks. It stinks really bad.
It's poop.
Almost like rotten flesh.
It's pretty rank. And it immediately kind of clicks to you as like the smell sits into all of you, and you finally remember where you've seen that material before, Theris. This is the same material that got summoned from Baenor's wand when he was clogging up those gas traps.
Do we know what that was though he was summoning?
You know, and it's some sort of like adhesive of some sort. You're not 100% sure. But it's very conclusive as to who got here.
I'm gonna scry on Baenor.
You go ahead and prepare. Nothing.
I don't think I actually saw him do that adhesive thing.
It was just him and Theris. They were in the back. You are unable to connect with Baenor.
Well, he's not on this plane anymore.
Who's
Um,
not on this plane anymore?
Just our old friend Baenor, looks like.
Why would he be here?
Frankly, I have no idea.
as you guys continue investigating,
Okay.
you are able to determine the kind of the tracks and the trails now that you've spent some time looking at them all. You are able to determine that apparently he did come back, and there is some remnants on one of the remaining mirrors.
Can we look through the mirror?
You can attempt to do so. Who wants to touch it? It's kind of like dark at the moment. It's inactive.
I'll touch it.
Sure, roll an Arcana check.
That's an 11.
Still dark. You try
This
again.
will just... I mean, if I can, sure.
Sure, go for it.
Okay.
So as you go to poke it to activate it, your hand just goes through. It was already active. It's just pitch fucking black on the other side. So your hand, you pop your head in.
Yeah, why not?
Right now that you kind of stick your head through because the mirror isn't really messing with it. You're in the Underdark somewhere. Not sure where.
Baenor!
Echoes, but nothing.
You dirty grifter. And I'll put my head back there.
You pull your head back out. And you just hear like random cursing coming from back on Soren's little island for his house.
Yeah, let's just go report findings to Soren over there.
He's just like, you look over at him and he's just kind of like face palming it at the moment. It's like, well, good news is I don't think we lost, well, couldn't be any worse than where it was. It's like, I think he took maybe some scrolls or a couple of books and a robe. It's like, I just reacquired it back to, I mean, it's
Please use it to repair the mirrors.
Oh, these just take like 7 days to make each. You know,
How many of them
Yikes.
have you broken?
out of this 50, 2/3. Plus the bigger, nicer mirror that was in his dwelling.
Are they hard to fix?
Don't worry about it. It's like I got plenty of time to fix them, but unfortunately, he kind of like takes stock in what he has left mirror-wise. He's like, I don't know. He's like, this one will get you. That's about as close as you can get, and it's probably like a little mirror that's like 5 hours south of Central Gancaster. That's about all I got.
I think
That's
it'll
a
do.
lot closer than we are now.
It's like, all right, well, you guys go have fun with that. I'm just gonna. He like looks around. He's like, I'm just gonna deal with all this.
Of course. Question.
Mhm.
If we get into trouble and need to escape quickly, would it be possible for us to use one of those mirrors that Ellie possessed to get here?
And he kind of looks. He's like, that's a little bit more complicated, unfortunately. He's like, a hand mirror works differently, and it's a one-time activation only. It does take quite some time to learn how to do it too. He's like, looks around. He's like, here, and he gives you one. He's like, you can always reach out to me though.
Smiles. Thank you.
Like, well, if that's, and he watches. He just like reaches out and activates the man. Like, I'll leave them in your capable hands, my dwarven friends. And they just kind of boop, boop, and pop through.
Sorry, step through next.
All right. Anyone knock that through?
I'm gonna lag behind and just say to Storm before we leave, if you need help tracking him down, I know him ish. We met recently, but I can probably help you if you want your respect. I apologize. I feel slightly responsible here.
He just kind of looks like, honestly, I don't even have time to worry about it now. We'll worry about it later.
Right? Well, see you soon.
Like, see you later. And you just go through the portal. All right. So you guys emerge. It is probably like 10 o'clock in the morning at this point. You're just like in a shack in the countryside. Jasper like smacks his head on the roof and then like kneels out and gets outside. It's not a very big building.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, as we are missing the have a party, do we want to wrap it up here? I know it's early, but we are down a fair amount of people.
Oh, don't worry. I got you covered. Because right now, Ka is back there. Ka didn't come. And for the time being, we will leave Tanya and Max at the port. So they will guard the little shack. So, what you guys doing?
Alright, I'll step outside of said cabin.
Okay. So we have right now. It looks like we'll have Gronkum, Leah, you, Thers, and Jasper all heading in that direction. You guys, technically, Thers probably knows this very, very well. So I would say, Gronkum, are you leading up the pack as usual?
Yeah.
Just roll survival with advantage because Thers knows it very, very easily.
I should be right.
Ooh.
Yikes.
Said left.
You just keep taking the wrong left. Okay, you guys kind of start making your way through. It's kind of like, as you start going, it gets a little bit overcast, and you just take a couple of wrong turns, and a few things just look strange. Where's our intent to get to? Just to outside the city, specifically the orphanage first? Is there anything else you wanted to go to?
I will want to swing by the tavern just to check if my sister's there, if anybody knows where she's at.
Sure.
If it's on the way.
Yeah. So as you guys eventually make there, we'll say it probably takes you about the 5 hours to get there.
If we have time to kill, I do want to start messing with the ring I got. Just to figure it out.
Sure. So have you been wearing? You're still. Oh yeah, you've done. Yeah,
I
you're
can't
still wearing it. For sure. Okay. So what do you want to do as you're going along? So you guys are just tracking along.
Alright, back.
Welcome back. We're doing shenanigans.
What did I miss?
Someone's testing an item.
I don't have identify actually.
I do.
Yeah, I would have said by then you could have probably identified all the things.
Okay, yeah. I'd just be like messing with it, trying to figure out what it does, or if I know what it does, try to figure out how to master it.
So the best part about this is we're totally having a Spaceballs moment right now.
Absolutely.
What are you wanting to move?
I just start picking up rocks, and I see how heavy I can pick up.
Okay. So you just watch and you're like pointing the ring at it because that just seems like the most feasible thing to you. So you're like, yeah, and you just watch as the rock one lifts up. What do you do?
I just start juggling just huge boulders.
Okay, roll an Arcana check as you start like picking up a couple more of these to see if you can juggle a couple of them. All right. So you just watch as you're moving along, and Leah's like juggling a couple of stone rocks as you're walking. Roll a wisdom check for me while you're walking.
A check.
So you're sitting there and you almost trip. You manage to hold it. You just like put your rocks away after a while. You probably pay attention here too. But yeah, you kind of get the hang of it, and like you could like throw the rock. So like by the time you're done, you're like playing fetch with yourself. You're like throwing a rock, and it just eventually comes back to you. Yeah, you get the hang of it.
All right.
All right. So we approach about 4:00 in the afternoon. It's still got a bit of daylight, even if with the bit of overcast it is. As you guys approach, what do you want to do? So this is the outside of the city, so there's no castle walls or anything yet. That's all further in. This is just like the outside of the town itself. Approach cautiously. You just walk in. What do you want to do?
I mean, if we know it's dangerous, we should probably approach cautiously.
Yeah, they did kind of give you the briefing that it's a pretty dangerous place at the moment.
Proceed with caution.
At the top of every hour, I'll refresh the Pass Without Trace as well.
How many people can you cover? 8? 10? I forget.
Let me double check.
I think we're good anyways. We'll say that Randy right now is staying back at the cabin too. Randy's not a fighter.
As many people that can stay within a 30-foot radius of me.
This is true. Okay, so I need everybody. Wait, Gronkum, are you being stealthy?
You know the answer to that question.
He gets a +10 regardless. So
No, for sure. He still gets a +10. So everyone go ahead and roll a stealth check.
I
so
didn't
that-
target everybody, so just put 10 in your
just put a
modifier.
+10, yeah. Ooh. So don't forget your +10. What I need to roll for. I gotta like hotkey a bunch of characters now. No bill. Oh, I haven't got to play him in so long. Natural 1. Look point. Let's redo that. You watch he leads out. Now everyone, we must and he falls over a fence and then he gets back up. That's he rolled a 4, so that's a 17. So that's good. Oh, +10, 27. There you go. All right.
Graceful as always.
You saw nothing. So Gronkum's got a 23. All right, so yeah. You guys kind of approach as you guys do approach the city, you see something that you're not familiar with. Definitely never in your time have you seen it there, Ferris. There's cages like hanging from posts outside of the city. As you kind of look, there looks to be people in these cages.
How high up is it?
Well, first of all, roll a quick perception check, guys.
Are they alive?
I say if it's too far up to really tell, I'll warg into Ben and
From
fly by.
where you currently are, you see about 3 of them. They're each about 10 feet off the ground. They're smaller cages, like little cylinders, just barely enough to stand up in.
I forgot what those are called.
I know, I did.
Do these individuals seem to be alive?
You don't see a lot of movement coming from the cages from where you currently are. If you want to get closer, you could always take a closer look.
Gibbets.
There you go. So you see 3 of these from your current view. All are full.
Does anybody appear to be alive?
From where you guys currently are, because you're probably like a few hundred feet away, or at least like 200 or 300 feet away at this point. Not that you can see at the moment, unless you got somewhere.
Yeah, I'll send Ben ahead to fly up and check and report back. Or I'll warg into him to visibly see.
Okay. So as you send Ben in, you look in this guy, for the one you go up to. He's laying there, he's just kind of sitting down. He's breathing, but he's not really moving much. As you were watching, all of a sudden you just watch as it kind of slowly, he tilts his head up and like looks towards Ben with like a strange look on his face. And then he puts his head back down.
I'll check the other cages as I go, or if there's room to do it. Say, I'll just tell everybody that one of them's barely alive.
Okay. As you go to check one of the other cages, you go over. Individual breathing doesn't move. Nilbo kind of like talks to you. What do you see?
As far as I can tell, there's only one alive.
No, they're all alive.
Oh,
Only one is moved. They're all breathing. The other one was breathing, but not moving. Like he was just sitting there.
They're barely alive, but they're breathing.
Kind of looks like
While I've got Ben up there, I want to
Mhm.
like fly up a little bit higher and look over the walls to see are there any kind of guards or.
The walls are much further in.
Okay, so
Like you got to go in a few miles to get to where like the keep is.
it looks like we can get these down without being accosted by anybody else.
As far as that, go ahead and roll your perception check.
Let me pull my owl open. And he will get advantage with sight-based.
That he does. So as you fly around, you don't see a huge guard presence per se. You do find one larger patrol. It looks like it has like maybe 15. Well, actually, I'll say it has 20 soldiers in it because you rolled a natural 20, so you can see them all. They look like they're just on typical patrols, whether they just patrol this region, but they seem to be more or less the only military force that's in there. However, you notice something really strange just out of happenstance because you rolled a natural 20. At one point, you watch as this one gentleman is like pushing a wagon and he like accidentally hits another person, and you watch as every single humanoid in the city turns and looks at him at the same second and then turns back to what they were doing.
So we got body snatcher shit going on.
Definitely not normal.
I think we're going to have bigger problems once we get in the city. And I explain what the reaction and everything to everyone and how it happened.
Does that sound at all familiar to me?
Roll a history check or an arcana check. I'm just grabbing a Red Bull. One sec.
That's number 2.
AFK sec 2.
Like, it doesn't sound familiar.
Just checking.
Should roll higher.
I know.
So, how do we help these people?
Well, something's controlling them.
Nobel kind of stops. He's like, wait a minute. We never said we were helping all of them.
Yes, we do have a mission. It's not our duty to help all of them. We just get what we came for. Get some information, maybe.
It's like, if we focus on what we came here to do, we're helping them all much more. He's like, but that makes a bit of sense. You said all of them.
Yes. That I could see.
Like, well, then who do we trust? I mean, we can't let anyone see us, it seems like.
Now, what about the patrol? Did they also turn?
Yep.
And how far
Out
away
of
is the patrol
curiosity.
from us?
How far away was what?
The patrol.
Oh, they were far away, and they're already kind of like leaving out of this area of the city. So they may come back, but yeah, they all reacted. Like, even like every person, old people, little kids that are on the street, they all just stopped what they were doing,
What
stared
about the
for like a
people in the
brief second.
cages? Or the one
People
that
in
was...
the cage. All 3 people in the cages turned their head at that point.
We can't help the
Out
one
of
in the
curiosity,
cages.
does that include people that did not have line of sight of the event?
Yep. At least the ones he could see.
It's as if a hive mind or something's controlling them, maybe.
It's like, I hate that word. I hate that word so much.
Cyrus, if your orphans are around here, don't you think they might also be under this influence?
Unfortunately, it's a very big possibility. Maybe it's a.
Ari's gonna look around.
Sure.
Are we being stared at?
You have not yet been discovered. You're still further away. He was using Ben, so he's got some distance. But roll a perception check just to see if anyone's got a beat on you.
Ooh.
You look around, Ari. It does not seem that anyone's picked up on your guys' presence yet.
What the hell, Ari? You never roll that high on a perception.
That's
It
like
was-
all of your
right.
last 10 games added together.
You can just talk.
Well, you know, she's in a positive mood.
She made it home.
I want to keep watching the guy in the cart. To like watch and how people's reaction as he goes into the city. Is he going into the city?
Oh, the guy who was pushing the cart was already in the city.
Okay.
He was like just on the city street. Nobody helped him. He just kind of fell over, and then eventually he picked up the cart, and you'll notice this too. He picks up the cart, but not the things that he dropped out of the cart, and just keeps moving the cart.
So kind of mindless.
A little bit.
It's almost like you set something on automatic and then you just leave it and come back later like, damn it.
Do you think they'll notice us if we pretend to be like them? Or do you think it's something bigger than that and that the magic is keeping us hidden?
I don't know. Do I have any possible idea if what arcane could do this or anything from?
Roll an
studying?
Arcana check just to see if you can think of anything. I mean, there's you've never heard of anything this large scale. I mean, there's magics that influence people that can do things. You've heard of maybe connecting two people, maybe at most a group of people. Larger communication spells, but nothing specifically that comes to mind as far as doing something like this.
Was this anything related to the plants that we found in the cave and stuff that they were doing the big barrels of stuff with in the pre-campaign?
Maybe.
I don't. It's been too long. I don't remember what all we found out about that.
So the last thing you remember, so you had those purple plants and the
Still
purple
passing.
flowers, and you had found when you were down there, apparently this white plant that could be used to produce a cure or to kind of counteract the effects. And last you knew when you left, that was being distributed throughout the city. A short time after that, at one point, a detachment of Golden Perch soldiers, including Kill, who was with you at the time, were accused of trying to poison the city aqueducts, which is why they were all arrested.
So, out of just random curiosity, you said an individual's cart tipped over and much of the contents were spilled.
Mhm.
What kind of contents were they?
I was just like vegetables.
Okay, nothing in particular, like, say, purple heads of cabbage?
No. Yeah, and from the last time you were aware, one of the mages of the city who goes by the name of Kazan was in charge of issuing those out and making sure they are distributed.
Evil.
He was the one that was recovered later on from the cult camp. I saw that, you two.
This is going to be difficult.
Noba kind of looks to you and
Do you
agrees,
think
sir.
this magic will be enough?
I'm fairly confident I can get in and out of the city without much issues. I don't know about the group of us though.
How many of us are there?
Right now it's Leah, Gronkum, Ferris, Ari, Jasper, and Nobel.
That's 6?
Nobel kind of looks at you there. She's like, I think I may be okay as well. And kind of like rummages through, and you look. He did have it before. I don't know if he ever.
So is Max and Tanya not with us?
No, Max and Tanya are back with Randy at the mirror, but they're not too far off.
I could cast invisibility on whoever needs it, really.
Nobel points to his eye patch. He's like, "I'm good."
How long does that
To
hold?
whoever needs it, as I said.
How long can you maintain that?
He's like, "Oh, it's just me, but I can hold this one. How long does yours last?"
An hour, but I can refresh it.
Is that regular or is that greater?
Just regular. I don't have greater.
How many people can you get with a casting?
What level spell is level 2 or level 3?
It is a level 2 spell.
I think it's one additional person per level, but I could be
I can
totally wrong.
cast to 6.
You look at your right, Palmari? It's your hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I assumed as much, but
You're like, I never know.
stating what she's doing.
So you got the.
Yeah, I could get the 5 of us.
He's like, what happens? And Nova's like, I can do myself also. It's like, I feel like we need more info though. Is there any type of experiment we could do?
For
Like-
what? On what?
Like, do you think they're all connected all the time, or is it like a distance thing?
Well, I'll look, how far was the patrol versus, like, how far is the distance between the people that...
Because you got a nat 20, at least from where you were, it looked like 200 feet. You didn't really get a whole lot more than that, although it's not a...
That's about the limit of what I could see. It could be further, but at least that much. Or we could go in and try to act like drone, just don't speak to anybody, watch their mannerisms, just try to walk at a normal pace.
I think our best bet is to not be seen in this case.
Perhaps we do both. We hide within the magic, but act as the others in case they do spot us.
So, act like them while invisible.
In case the invisibility doesn't work or they can see through it. My only concern is what if the magic sets off some sort of alarm of sorts or alerts them to our presence? Oh, I don't, with not knowing what's going on here, it's hard to say what could happen.
Nova kind of looks, he's like, maybe we could trap one.
But then they would all know.
Well, maybe we could get it to follow someone like far away and see if it can't go for forever.
Well, we have these fine specimens right here. I motion to the people in cages.
It's like we can't just go pick up a cage and run off with it.
I probably could.
Gronkum and Jasper could.
We need some way, I think, if we were going to do that, to disguise whoever the individuals are, to get them in case they are seen, and then we try to sneak in the town later. They've all seen us. If they share senses, then they may share memory as well. And we
He's
don't
like,
want
I
to
can handle the disguises.
This village is so creepy.
say I can disguise.
The question is, who are we disguising?
I can take care of myself, and Let me double check my skills.
You guys do not need to worry about anything for Nobel.
Yeah, I've got a disguise kit with a +5 modifier, so. And I can
No.
alter myself.
It's
Ooh, actually, now this could be fun. He's trying to think too. Huh. He's like, what did the guards look like?
I'll give a description of what I could see.
I don't know if it counts, but you just watch and he transforms into a guard. Mask of many faces. I really hope this works. All right. So are we going with the don't be seen, sneaky, sneaky hide to the orphanage approach? Or are we walking through the streets? What are we doing?
I think we should go in invisible.
We can attempt it. I'll change myself to look like a guard, very similar to him
Okay.
with alter self, or I'm sorry, with disguise self.
All right. So you both look like guards. He's got his eye patch on.
We can act like we're escorting them in case there's something comes up.
Okay. So you guys are walking, and you guys behind him.
Do you
All right.
do you think we should be invisible as well, or just let the invisible people follow us?
I mean, we could.
If you two are disguised, they shouldn't be able to see through it.
If they can see through the magic, it won't matter either way.
Do we go together or do we go scattered?
Never split the party.
Sometimes, but let's go as a group, and if need be, I can. How many of us are there total right now?
6, I think. Leah, Thais, Ari, Drunken, Jasper, Nobel.
So how many total?
5 or 6.
Well, okay, if there's 6 total, counting me, then if worse comes to worse,
Yeah, there's 6.
and I say, if I call out, get as close to me as you can, and I can get us out quickly. I can only do it once per.
Gotham,
at the
you
moment.
still there?
I
Yeah,
think
my computer died.
his computer died, but he's there.
Oh,
So let's stay together, and if shit goes south, I'll get us out.
So we're just walking in then?
mhm.
Okay.
Let's try it.
So you guys walk in with your guards.
Now, is Leia? Are y'all doing invisibility or just walking with us?
I'll cast invisibility.
Okay.
All right, so
She
you're
doesn't need to
doing
do it
the
on the
4.
guards, I don't think.
So Jasper, Grunk, Malia, and Ari.
That'll save you some spell slots, hopefully.
That'll be a 5th level, I think.
Unless you guys want to split it up.
Is it concentration?
Does anyone else have invisibility?
I think just
I
Nobel.
don't.
Nope.
Nobel does, but I don't know if I want to use his concentration. We may need that. But that would be really shitty if you appeared all of a sudden. Sorry!
Say you could wait as an emergency too and cast invisibility to get away instead of using it now. I would definitely let me try to help, and I'll try to use disguise on everybody as well as I can with maybe some berry juice and different things like, hey, pull your cowl up like this, and here, wrap this around your head like that, just to try to help disguise us a little bit. Cover that
You
horn
want
up.
everyone else to look what?
Nothing
like
specific,
normal
just
people?
where you're not ID'd is readily if we need to come back or something.
Yeah, I'm pretty distinctive.
There's probably a flyer or 2 around the city. They're old flyers.
I forgot. that Ari might be wanted.
That too, yeah. It's just
Well, I mean,
Don't worry, none of them remember right now. All right, so we going invis or no invis?
I'm not. I don't want to be invis. I've already got.
Yeah,
a
you and Noble are going to be non-invis. Were you guys going to invis the four of you, or are you just going to walk?
What level is? I mean, I could guess seeming.
You could do that too. Totally up to you.
Just trying to save spell slots in case you need them for other things.
If yeah,
What do you want to seem to be?
Alright. Here's the plan. You two walk maybe about 15, 20 feet ahead of us, and we'll kind of straggle behind a bit so we don't look like we're together. If they start to pay too much attention to us, we'll head in behind an alley, go invisible, and then catch up. But if you notice them or people stop and look at us, you two need to do the same.
Fair plan.
And if you see people stop and look in a direction, do the same.
Yeah, so we all have to play along.
Mm-hmm.
Noble,
Got
do you have any idea where the things we need to retrieve are?
Oh, yes. He's like, well, we're going to your orphanage. I'm assuming you know where that is. The guild hall, and he kind of points. It's like, it's not on the opposite side of town, but it's a little bit further down. It's a bit away, but
I grew up here. I can get us there.
he's like, I can get us in and out there too. Once we get in, it's not so bad. We just need to stay away from the castle, most likely. That is heavily fortified and well guarded.
Alright. Then let's get moving.
I don't know
Okay.
why I can't share this feed.
Which one?
I've got the city secrets.
Technically, that they move through with you if you're guiding them. You can move through quicker, I believe. If not, I'll allow it. All right, so Theris and Noble are 15 feet in front, and then you guys are behind them with seeming or with invisible or with nothing. I don't think we ever made an actual decision.
I believe without.
Okay, so you guys are just fine. Okay, so Theris and Noble, as you walk by the guards, or not the guards, the people in the cage, no movement, nothing.
Just ignore them. Keep going. Unfortunately,
Keep
we can't
going?
help them at the moment.
As you guys catch up behind, you watch as the heads pop up, and they just kind of like stare at you guys as you walk past, and they just follow.
Do the regular citizens also do that, or just the people in the cages?
Right now, it's just the people in the cages that are looking at you. The other people are a bit further
Are
off.
we in proximity of... Okay.
Can I cast invisibility? I really don't like this.
We've been
It's up to
seeing
you. They're
it.
watching you now.
First.
But yeah, they watch the four of you, like, as you move, like, the heads just rotate with you. As you guys continue forward a little bit more, Ferris, you see your familiar friend with the wagon, like, walking this way?
Okay.
He's walking straight at you and
I
Noble.
haven't.
He's looking at or walking at?
He's just walking his wagon, like, straight. Like, he's gonna hit you guys if he doesn't.
Yeah, well, at the last minute, kind of step to the side.
Yeah, he just keeps walking through.
As he comes by, I want to like try to get a look at his eyes and his face, see if there's anything like, has he got white eyes or is it something seem off? I mean, I know something's off, but
You
I
don't see anything crazy as far as like his eyes look normal, but he's just kind of like staring straight. He's not. He's looks like he's staring at the party behind you. But yeah, he almost runs you guys over. You walk out of the way, and then you just watch as he like walks past you guys, and he just waves, "Oh, good day, everyone!" And he just walks past them.
Does he veer not to hit them?
Oh yeah, he moves out of their way. Nobel looks back. Dick.
I'm also going to have a Ben like circling up above, trying to watch the area if it looks like a group is like, if we've been noticing a group's heading our way or something to kind of alert me.
Yeah, you walk around. Everyone seems to be doing stuff. However, you do notice the closer you get in, as you get within eyeshot of people, they keep following the four of you. Everywhere you go.
Now,
Not like everyone
due to
looking
the
at
gap
their tablet,
between,
Mhm.
due to the gap between, do they seem to be focusing their attention more towards the back portion of us or the two front guards?
only the four of you. In fact, they
Okay.
don't interact with the two of them at all. They've only interacted with you. The looking thing is only about like a 10 to 20 foot thing. It's not the 200-foot thing. Everyone else is just walking around like it's a normal city.
I don't like this.
But
Can we
they
leave
like turn
somehow?
away from watching them after they kind of left an area.
Did they turn away? I don't know.
No, I'm saying like as
Oh.
we walk past people and they're turning
Mhm.
and looking at the four of them, is it like, okay, they get 20 foot away from a group that they go back about their business and stop watching, or do they just continue
Yeah,
to
so
stare?
they only watch within that 20-foot range, and the minute they leave, they stop watching, and it just like transitions as they walk around town. Like just the people within proximity are watching. Everyone else is just doing typical townsfolk stuff. However, as you guys are watching for, and you're kind of like taken back, a larger gentleman bumps into both of you, knocks Nobel over. You kind of catch yourself. He falls over, and he just kind of like picks himself up and dusts himself off. He's like, "Hi, that was clumsy of me," and he just keeps walking.
I don't even say anything. I just kind of turn and look at him, and then turn it almost like automatonous, trying to be like no emotion or anything there.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't even seem to know that he walked into you.
Suspicious.
He's acting like he tripped.
Okay.
Nobel just kind of looks. He's like, "I hate this place." All right, so we're heading towards the orphanage.
Whichever
Or are they
first,
veering off?
if the tavern is closer on the way, which I either want to hit the tavern or the orphanage first, whichever is most opportune.
Well, since you're visible, I would say probably the tavern is easier to access, since you're kind of in like the central portion of the town walking through. So yeah, you could stop there on your way. So as you guys, you all go inside, or do any of you stay outside?
Welcome, we'll stay outside.
I'll also stay outside.
Okay. So as there's, Nobel will probably go in with you. You walk inside, and everyone is just sitting.
No eating or drinking,
Call
just
us if
sitting.
you need us.
They have drinks in front of them, but they are just sitting. Not a single person in this room is moving right now.
What about like the bartender or anybody like that? Barkeep, is anybody? Are they just standing there?
They're just standing there waiting. Like the barkeep is just looking at the door, and everyone else is just sitting there.
I see my sister.
She's not present.
I just kind of whisper to no one, like, wait here, and I'm gonna walk around the bar, like towards the kitchen area or something. Just to, do they even seem to acknowledge me?
Nope.
Okay, I want
They
to
just
search.
continue. There's people in the kitchen just standing there too. Like there's a fire burning. There's just like soup burning in the background.
I want to check the kitchen. If there's a basement upstairs, I want to look for my sister.
You look around. No sign.
This is what a nightmare feels like.
Yeah, okay, we leave. I just, as I approach Nobel, I just kind of shake my head and nod, let's go out.
You come back. Nobel has a beer. You don't know where he got a beer from, but he's got a beer. It's like they don't know.
I imagine the outside team is probably across the street.
Okay.
Yeah, it's up to you. You could be in front of it. You could be across the street. Totally up to you. But
Or
it takes
we'll be
them
across
probably
the
like
street,
15,
really.
20 minutes to do a good little search in there. So while they're in there, you can do whatever you want.
I'm just hoping she got out or something hadn't happened to her. Let's head to the orphanage.
All right. So you watch as the two of them walk back out. You guys approach the other four.
We'll wait till they're probably about.
Until they're
Do you
what?
two continue walking or approach us?
I was like walk out and then like give you kind of like a head signal, like we're going this direction.
Got it.
We'll wait till they're probably about 15 to 20 feet away and then start following behind.
Okay. You guys continue forward. I need all 6 of you to roll perception checks. Ooh, I'm good at this again. Yay. It's been so long.
Ooh, I'm bad at this. Always.
I rolled a 5, so that's a 20. This is the non-leveled up version too. I had to load an old version. The level 15 version of him is on your server, not this server. Whoops-de-dees. He's still a badass at level 10. It's okay. All right. You do now notice there are just 4 random villagers that are now tailing the 4 of you. They're not all together, but they are following you as you.
Screw it. I cast invisibility.
Like right there.
Would you like-
She goes to cast. Ari will grab her hand. Follow me first.
I'm just looking more and more.
Like shoot
Ari's
around
gonna
or something.
start heading towards a back alley.
Okay.
Do we see this going on?
And
Yes. You both see it as you kind of see as they like dutch down an alley, and then you see like the 4 individuals kind of slowly approaching towards where they're going.
I kind of was
And once
no
Ari-
realm like interference and walk to kind of block them or stop or something just to make it to slow them down a little bit.
Sure. So you're gonna do a minor illusion? What you making?
once line of sight is broken, she's going to do a illusion of a bush covering the alley entrance.
Okay.
And I'll squat down.
What do you do after you make the illusion?
I'm casting invisibility on the 4 of us.
Okay. So you guys are invisible. All right. So you watch. You see the bush appear, and you see these 4 individuals kind of walk, and 3 of them kind of pause, and you just see one walk through the bush. And it just
be careful to position herself out of the way of the individual.
And it just walks through. And it walks about halfway through the alley, and it just kind of turns and walks back. And that one just walks off down the road.
Did it look like it saw us?
Roll an insight check.
Us 2 don't feel me now.
Theris, you can roll an insight check too.
Ooh. You're not there. It's
He's there too. Ari, That last one literally stops like 6 inches from your face and just like almost stares directly at you before it turns back around. You get a
Probably holding
weird
her breath.
feeling. It doesn't necessarily see you, but it knows you're here.
So it knows something is up, it just can't see us.
From what you gather. Not even that something's up, that something is
Sure.
physically in this area that it cannot see.
Alright. She's gonna wait till it's out of earshot, or does it keep kind of going along this patrol route?
That one walks away, the other 3 stay there.
Are they
So they're
staring
still at the
down
front of the
hall?
alley. They're just sitting there, like, pretending to look, and they kind of are eyeing down the alley, like, just cautiously staying there, like they're just following. They're not engaging you, but they're following.
Mm.
And they just wait as you sit in alley invisible.
After, if I figure we kind of know what they're doing because the way
Mhm.
they're acting, so I'd just kind of nudge Nobel and we start walking back the way we're going.
All right, so they keep walking that way.
We can't see them either now.
Mm-mm.
Our 3 observers have left, or
They're still sitting there.
they? Okay.
They're
The
camped
room
out
Ari's going to
part of the
move
alley.
to
You
the.
can go the other way.
Ari's going to move to the opposite edge of the alley, and she's going to lightly tap on the side of the building with her nail.
We're all holding hands. It's very cute.
The invisible chain of don't forget where your buddy is. So you're trying to distract him with the sound?
No, she was trying to let the invisible people know where she.
We're holding hands.
But if we're all holding hands, that works too.
No, this is great. We're
In that
just,
case,
we're
she'll
doing all
guide.
sorts of stuff.
Then she'll just guide people to the other side of the alley and out
Okay.
to the street.
There's not
Um,
so much of a street on that side. It's like a far. It's almost kind of like it's got like a little parky view almost to the side. It's just a little side road. However, when you walk out the other side, that guy who walked off is sitting like on a bench on the other side. You see 2 other individuals near him now, and they just look and follow.
Whoa.
Like as you're invisible, they kind of don't look directly at you, but they get up and they start walking.
I hate it here. I hate it so
Ari will
much.
whisper to Leah. They can sense our presence.
I figured. Let's do this quickly.
So you now have 6 people actively tracking the forward view. Theris and Nobel, you guys continue forward. Nothing paying you any mind right now.
We could just run for it. Would they run after us? I don't know.
I wonder. Ari's gonna create an illusion of herself
If you
in
do
one of
that,
the
it
alleys
will
that we're
break
passing by.
visibility.
Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah, it does. So never mind. She
Okay.
will not do that.
Retcon.
Her ability is broken by casting spell.
Just great. Ain't nobody got those kind of spell slots to do 4 people yet.
Shenanigans are now elite.
Yeah. So we'll continue going.
All right. So as you guys kind of like are trying to kind of catch up to wherever Nobel and them were, these 6 are still on you. Like you can kind of watch the other 3 following you from a distance, and the 3 are following behind you, even though you're invisible.
If we move faster,
Are there
do
any
they move?
rocks along the ground?
If you pick up pace, they also pick up pace. Not in like an obvious way, but they pick up pace.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of rocks.
Ari's gonna pick up a rock and guide us close to in an alley, As we go by, she's going to reach her hand into one of the alleys and kind of throw a rock towards the other end.
Okay. So you're just chucking rocks at them as like a distraction to see if they notice it or what?
More or less, yeah.
Okay. So you take the rock, you throw it. Click, 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 click.
Mm-hmm.
They don't seem to pay it any attention.
Maybe they have like heat vision. I have heat vision. It's like,
Can you see the other
How
invisible people? Can she see the invisible people?
Ari, no. They're all invisible.
wait, can I see invisible people?
Like she's saying she has heat vision, so can she see them? That's what she's
Is
trying
it
to
heat
figure
vision?
out.
It's like heat vision, right?
It's no, in this version it's not. It kind of works like that. So you don't really see that, but because you do have the lens, so the downside is you technically can cast like detect magic freely, but it still is an action to do it.
Mhm.
So it would compromise your invisibility. But if you had it up beforehand or something, you could do it. But yeah, that's one of your.
Invisibility was only attack spells.
I think it's any action. Greater
No,
invisibility.
invisibility is any spell or an attack.
Greater invisibility.
Greater invisibility just doesn't break. Yeah.
That's a great spell.
The spell ends for a target that attacks or casts the spell.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you activated it, you'd drop it at the moment. But in the same sense, you're not exactly sure how useful it may be. All right, so you guys probably have like half the distance to go. So what are the four of you doing? The other two are fine. They're literally, no one even pays them any attention. It's like they're not even there.
Does this have anything to do with what we discussed the other day?
Maybe.
That's what I figured.
Shenanigans, oh shenanigans.
There's a definite reason. All right, you four, what are you doing?
We're continuing on because I'm.
Oh yeah, you guys are good. We'll get to you. You guys are just fine.
We can't see them either, so I'm just trusting that they're following us also.
No, that's it. The only thing you do notice, and they've stayed kind of further back in a sense, you still can see those other three that were there, and they are kind of still following. You watch as they're like looking off across the way, so you can kind of get an idea that they probably are invisible and they are moving.
And
but
they can still be detected.
Mm-hmm. The four of you, watch as from one of the alleys in front of you walks out an individual with blonde hair, wearing blue robes.
Do we recognize that individual?
Who's with you? So, Ari. Leah would not recognize this individual. Jasper would not recognize this individual. Gronkum's not here. You were probably the only person who's even lived here briefly. He's like one of the city mages. You don't remember which one, though. But he walks out in front and he just kind of like turns and like looks towards you and just smiles.
Don't you do it.
Greetings, princess. And he just kind of takes a bow.
Who's he looking at?
Who is he looking at?
Roll an insight check.
That is another 2.
There's those rolls we know and love.
Leah and Ari are both
so
equally
bad.
confused as to who he's referring to.
You look, and you guys look behind you. Maybe it's Gronkum or Jasper. You're like, I don't think Jasper's is Jasper a male or a female? You thought Jasper was male.
you look behind you, is there a princess that just like walked out? Nuh-uh. But he just stands there smiling. Yes. Have you come to accept our invitation?
No.
I mean, why else would you be here? And he just grins and smiles.
I hate it here.
I guess. Can Ari drop the invisibility on herself?
Ooh, it's a single spell. So if you drop it, I believe it does technically drop on all four of you.
Well, she can't obviously end the spell, but can she end the effect on herself, like willingly?
Yeah, I think
Leah's the
so.
one
As
who
long as you
cast
don't drop concentration, you could. Yeah, you could end it. You could just like flick yourself or something. You're like,
Well, Leah cast it.
Oh, okay. That's right. That's what we have for 2 female casters. Okay, so yeah, you could easily break yours. As long as Leah holds her
Okay,
concentration,
so-
everyone else is just fine.
Okay, Ari will alleviate herself with the invisibility. Me?
Well, I don't see anyone else around here, do you? It just smiles nice and big.
Facepalm.
He's like, I wasn't aware you were coming. This certainly is an interesting development.
It was
Most welcome.
surprise.
Oh. Well, I know a certain
Uh,
individual who'll be very excited to see you. In fact, they should be finishing up with the meeting any time now.
Is Theris and Nobel see this or hear this?
From where you guys are, only if you would have stopped. Did you keep going or did you stop?
Well, I don't know. Would we have noticed this person
Actually,
walking?
you kind of stopped. Yeah, you see the individual walk out for sure. You 100% know who this guy is. It's Kazim.
Son of a bitch.
The man himself.
I've not been briefed on who is meeting here.
Oh, why the council, of course.
Ah, yes, of course.
Of course.
All of our guests have joined us. Their meeting should conclude shortly. It's actually a very boring meeting, to be quite honest. That's why I'm here right now.
Want to try to casually get closer within earshot so we can overhear.
Sure. So you hear the whole conversation. Odd thing, as they're going through, you do kind of watch as like more just random individuals, just this like the 6 kind of form a very loose perimeter. They kind of occasionally like eyeball all the invisible people. As you guys approach closer, no one pays any attention to the 2 of you, even Kazim. He goes, I mean, if you're here to join us, this would be most welcome news. I mean, I could just see the smile on Deft's face now.
Deft is here?
Yeah, Deft's at the meeting. Let's see, we have Lord Gray's here. Lord Satesh is here. Deft and his company are here. Some foreign dignitaries also have come to visit. I'm in there right now as well. I just needed a break.
How long will this meeting be transpiring?
Well, I think we're wrapping up probably in the next hour or so, I'd imagine.
Are
Care
there
to join?
gardens in Gancaster?
Are there gardens? Did you say gardens? Yeah, there's gardens.
Yeah. Okay. Do they have like a public gardens area or?
They probably do have some public like gardens and things like that. There's actually really nice gardens in the castle itself as well.
No, I'll not join in on the meeting, especially near the tail end. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, it's probably best if it is.
It would be,
He's like, you're right. He's like,
If,
can you keep a secret?
mhm.
I have a little surprise of my own for them.
For
You be a
the
good sport,
council.
though, and don't tell. He's like, well,
Could you have could you request that Deft come meet me in the gardens when he's finished his meeting?
oh, I'm in no position to boss him around.
But surely you could make a request on my behalf.
I'll do my best. I have to talk to I'll ask Lily about it, and maybe she can set up a time. He's like, well,
Soon would be preferable. I've not seen him in a while.
absolutely. I'll be sure to pass her the message. They should be out any time. You may want to stay away from the castle, just to be safe. I would hate for anything to happen to anybody just wandering about.
Nods.
And you just watch, it's like, ta-ta for now, and you just, the body back into like a random farmer dude. He's kind of like confused his worries, and then he just starts walking back off and doing random shit. All the others, other than like one individual, walk off.
I drop the invisibility.
All of you.
I grab Ari's. Ari, what the hell? Why does he know you?
At this point, you see all four of them appear, also, for the two of you.
Yeah, I get a slightly closer. I'm like, princess?
What was that?
It's a long story. I'll explain once we're out of here.
No, both. We're all gonna die, aren't we?
Cool with the resident overlord of this overthrown capital.
Ruthie, you've got some spraining to do.
All right. So, as you guys approach towards the orphanage, make actually, I guess it wouldn't make the four of you. I'll let one of you make a group stealth check. You can pick who. Can't be Noble or Thirst.
Let's see. Who
The best
likely
fight.
has the best
Not
stealth
Malcolm.
check?
Dude, I'd laugh so hard if Jasper was like a plus 20 stealth if we
Definitely
didn't
not.
even think about it.
What do you have there?
Jasper's stealth is a 2.
They're still staying within 30 foot of us, though, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, for sure. This is just to see if they can kind of like lose the tail.
Well, I already have a +3 due to dex, but no proficiency.
I've got a +4. I'll do it. I've been rolling
Hey,
shit.
usually you've got to go with the lowest score for the group because they're the ones that's going to cause a problem.
Let's see, who would we have? Technically, they're not. I'll just let them roll it for now. You're kind of getting a little bit of a leniency because he knows you're all here for sure.
Obviously, I'll roll it.
But it didn't stop you, so that's a good thing.
A 3.
But
+10.
how long's past that trace? Hour or 10 minutes?
It's an hour.
So yeah, it's still. Did you? No, because you didn't do any other concentration spells, right? I don't think.
Nope, I can do 2 though. Remember?
But is disguise self concentration? I don't think it was.
Yeah, it's. I don't know if the staff is. The spell is. I don't know if the staff has to maintain.
Passive out of trace is concentration, but the only thing you have up is disguise self, which is not concentration. I don't.
No, because it's a soul ability.
Yeah. Well, even the spell itself, I don't think is concentration. I think it's just you're disguised for X amount of time.
Yeah, it's not concentration.
Yeah, so you're fine. You do manage to dodge the last of the tail. That or he just stopped following you. You're not 100% sure.
Likely the latter.
No, the ladder's still watching you. Don't worry.
I've just been, ever since that, I've been
Dear
looking
God.
at Ari, kind of judgmental, mostly impressed.
Okay. So,
As you guys kind of are sitting out there, you are at the grounds of the orphanage. Is everyone going in, or just a few people going in?
I won't be going in.
Are you sending the invisible peoples?
They're not
Are
invisible
you?
anymore.
I meant like you two.
Yeah, I'm definitely going.
Okay. So do we want? We'll send the sneakies in, and the four of you want to stay outside and keep guard and watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you need us, just let us know.
There's.
Nod.
As you guys approach the wall to where you need to sneak in, you will need to get over the wall. Nobo kind of looks at you. You need help?
I think I can get it.
Okay, he just jumps over.
Well, I can't do it.
Go ahead and roll athletics acrobatics unless you have something else you want to do.
Actually, this is a skill check, so I'm gonna, because I know I'm not the best, I'm gonna guidance myself.
Go for it. I mean, one of the other four could give you a boost too if you really wanted to. Just be careful if Gronkum or Jasper do it. That's just how it happened the last time they tried to wrestle. I could give him a boost. You get thrown to the. Okay, you do hit the wall with great enthusiasm. You make it over, but the landing not so graceful. You're like, ugh! On the other side, you get up though. It's no damage. All right. So as
What
you,
wall are we going into the orphanage? It's not. There's not a main entrance.
it does, but they have like a perimeter wall.
Okay.
It's actually a fairly decent size. It's not like super fancy, but it's got like just general walls. So this is like into like a courtyard to share it. So as you guys approach over, Theris, you guys look probably like 50 feet away. There's somebody else breaking into the orphanage.
Is it
You
like
see
a
like
grown person, a kid? What?
you see a hooded medium humanoid that's currently like messing with a window.
And we'll approach them.
And there's a sack on the bag or on the back.
Are they coming in, or trying to go in, or coming out?
They look like they're trying to go in. So as you approach, just roll a quick stealth check with advantage because they appear distracted.
He's got his kid stealing sack on.
Krampus.
You are able to sneak up behind this individual. So you sneak up. They don't notice you. Novo kind of looks at you. It's like, you jump him?
I grab the sack and kind of pull him backwards. What are you doing?
As you grab the sack and pull back, you just watch the hand comes back and like smacks you in the face. As a very familiar looking young woman is standing there looking back at you
Is it Thea?
and just jumps and just throws a big hug around you.
No,
And
she
drops the
doesn't.
sack to the
I look
ground.
like a guard.
Oh, you still do look like a guard, don't you? Oh no! Yeah, so you watch as she turns around, she just smacks you. She goes for a dagger on her hip.
Is it my sister?
It's your sister.
I'm like, Thea, it's Theris. Stop.
She's like holding the dagger, like not sure what's going on.
Looking at theirs?
What are you doing and what's going on here?
She's like, hurry. And she like hides you around the corner. She's like, something's happening here, Theris. Something took over the town.
I know. What happened? What's going on? Are the children okay?
And she kind of looks and she opens the sack and you see it's full of like bread and some other random stuff. It's like, I've hidden a few of them away, but the rest of them are like the others.
That
It's like,
they've been
I hid
taken over.
8 of them away.
How are you not under the effects of this?
Don't know. I mean,
not the stealthiest of people, but I guess I'm just really good.
And the children you've hidden away, are they not under control of whatever this is?
No, I got here early when the city was being attacked. I knew you were gone. I wanted to protect your kids, and I had hidden these few away.
The ones that are still here are under the sway of this power?
I have 8 of them hidden down in the basement, but the rest of them are all under control. It seems like everybody. It's like, and there's been weird people coming into the city over the last day.
Any of them darker hued skin, reddish blues and tones, horns?
He's like, yeah, actually, a couple. He's like, and there's just this really weird guy. I had to hide on the way in. They didn't see me. But yeah, no, it was the individual red skin, big horns, and it's being followed by 4 people in red robes. Does that sound familiar?
Does it to me?
Not specifically. I mean, it sounds like it could be like deft potentially, but
Right.
other than that, you know 2 tieflings. Oh, actually, you know 4 tieflings. I take it back. The other 2 are white and blue, though, so you don't need to worry about that. And she just kind of sits there. I've just been trying to sneak him in food. I haven't been caught yet. As you watch as she looks down, she is wearing something familiar you haven't seen in a while. In fact, it's been a long while since anyone has seen this. You see a very familiar looking medallion hanging around her neck. A blue sapphire medallion.
Where do I recognize it from?
Used to belong to a very small child.
Oh, where did she get that?
You don't know, but it seems whatever protections that are on this necklace are also protecting your sister the same way you are protected, but differently.
Do you know if this is something that has a radius, if anybody gets far enough away, that the charm or whatever this enchantment is, does it break? Do you know?
It's enchanted?
Well, no, I don't
She
know.
has no idea. She just found it.
No, I'm not talking about the next. I'm talking about whatever's the enchantment on the people.
Oh.
Do you know if
Yeah,
they're further away from the city, does this break? Do you have any idea?
It seems just like everybody. The only people that it doesn't seem to affect are the people that have been coming in from outside the town.
I want to try something. I need to kidnap one of the children without them seeing it done. I want to see if it can be dispelled.
Oh, I certainly think we could arrange that. We'll pause you guys there, because we'll pause here in just a few minutes too. You 4. At this time, as you're kind of keeping watch, you see a wagon going down the road. It's a small succession of people, but you see, you don't see the individual's face, but you see red hands, or a red hand, and you see black horns sticking out from underneath one of these red robes of this individual. Behind it are 4 other individuals, also wearing red robes. 2 of them are smaller humanoids. 2 of them are medium humanoids. But you do pick up on the horns and you see them walking by. You see a red hand. That's the only skin you see off the tiefling.
Okay.
Red or pink?
How tall are they? Yeah, that's also a clarification.
Hard to tell from this range on the color. Height size? Hard to say. Medium-ish. Average human height. About the same size as Death.
Would you say? And how far away are they?
They are probably about 50 feet away from your current location going down the road.
Towards us?
Away from you. You're like watching them pass by. Roll perception checks just for... Oh, Jarf, do you have a dice at home, Gronkum? I'll let you roll in real life since you crashed, if you're still there. I think I don't even know.
Oh, these people.
You just kind of look. You're like, You still there, Grunkum?
Grogum.
Grunkum. I almost don't want to do it because I don't know if he's here or not.
We can hold off
Well,
till next time.
if you want, we can. Yeah. I'm starting to drift off a bit, and my stomach's
Okay.
kind of feeling upset. So if we want to save that till next time, that's.
We'll pause for here until
I'm
Grunkum's
okay with
back
that.
then.
But we need the cliffhanger.
Ah,
Give
the
it a cliffhanger.
It is a
We have the
cliffhanger.
cliffhanger.
the cliffhanger is you don't get your cliffhanger.
No.
Leah just wants to know who it is. Don't worry.
No,
That's the cliffhanger.
It's probably for the best, and it'll make more sense next Friday. But until then, we'll end here for now.
All right. Okay.
Because I'm not sure exactly how it would go, and we may need more time to deal with it. So we'll deal with it next time.
Dominoes are falling.
The dominoes everywhere. But good game. You didn't attack anybody, and you didn't get caught.
I'm proud of us. I mean, we did get caught.
Yeah, you did, but not like... At least you got caught by the right people? Maybe?
Technically, they're all the right people. If you think about it.
Are any of them the right... No, as in, at least it was...
Yeah, we either got caught by all the right people or all the wrong people.